Hello and welcome to First Post Game Plan with Ayaz Memon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
Ayaz.
Amit.
And 2017 seems to have got off to a crazy start for cricket. Not only has the Supreme Court screwed BCCI's case, but MS Dhoni announces stepping down from captaincy. The biggest news.
Yeah, unexpected decision by MS Dhoni. I think where the Supreme Court's decision against the President and Secretary was concerned, there was some, one anticipated some drastic action would be taken. Whether
Exactly.
Whether Anurag Thakur and Ajay Shirke would be kind of asked to move aside, one didn't know. But drastic action against BCCI was expected. This decision was not expected at this point in time. I must say that I thought that Dhoni might take a very serious call after the Champions Trophy, because that's when he's 2 years away from the World Cup. It gives him a good idea about his fitness form, whether he wants to play on till 2019 or not, and it gives enough time or opportunity even for the selectors to take a call. But he's chosen to do it now on the eve of the one-day series against
Just
England.
2 days before the selection.
Just 2 days before the selection, and frankly, in hindsight, I think he's just, the timing has been splendid. The reason I say this is that the selectors now will obviously go to Virat Kohli for becoming the captain. It gives Virat enough time till the Champions Trophy to lead in limited overs cricket. He's not done that for India. He's been captain of the Indian Test team for almost 18 months, and he's done a splendid job.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really that's the kind of tipping point, if I may say so, because he's done such a wonderful job as Test captain. It's not affected his batting. Suppose he had been winning matches, but his own form had taken a backseat. That
would have been a different issue.
Then it's a different issue. But his form seems to have blossomed also.
Exactly.
So everything seems to suggest that Virat is, there's no need to stop him from becoming captain across all formats.
Exactly.
I think in the Indian context, generally we've had one captain for all formats. Briefly, when Dhoni became captain first, he was the captain for the limited overs game.
And Kumble was leading the side.
That's for about a year. And then Dhoni himself had a very long tenure as captain in all formats before he gave up Test cricket. So he has seen both sides of the picture, so to speak, both sides of the divide, and he's taken, I think, it's a very selfless decision also.
Exactly.
And the thing which I must mention here is that he's not a guy who hankers after power. Not easy to give up a very powerful position. The cricket captain of India is a very powerful.
It's huge.
So he may not be Test captain, but he gave up the Test captaincy.
Yeah.
There was no great pressure on him. He's given up the one-day captaincy, though nobody's asking him to leave. The pressure for an Indian captain is always there, whether you're winning or losing. When you're winning, people want you to win more and more. When you're losing, obviously it's...
And people will throw brick bats at you.
Absolutely. So the Indian captain is always under pressure. It's not that he's under no pressure. Virat Kohli is under pressure.
Exactly.
As he goes, if he starts winning even more, then, as a batsman, now he's built up a whole large edifice of expectation that has to be met. So the pressure is always there. But in this situation, to take a call like this, I think it's been fantastic.
But talking about the preparation to the 2017 Champions Trophy, so do you think this is enough? This will give enough time for Kohli to build a core unit in the limited overs side, given that the limited overs side has been prone to experimentation among the reserve players and all? I
think the core team exists. I think one of the things which Dhoni has been able to see through the transition.
Okay.
From Sachin, Dravid, Lakshman, Ganguly, Kumble, they all retiring.
The major retirements happened during his era, during his captaincy.
And he has built up a team which actually, even in Test cricket, Virat has inherited. You take away Jayant Yadav and Karun Nair, who played this season, everybody else has been part of the Dhoni era.
Let's not forget the CSK contribution to the Indian team as well.
A CSK apart from an Indian team's point of view, and all of them have now got enough depth and breadth of experience to be of great value to Virat, who's the captain now. So he gave up the Test captaincy after he had seen that transition virtually through. Now, even in the T20 and ODIs, you will find there will always be a little more experimentation, because you want what I call is the multitasking players all the time. So there are, and we've also had a spate of injuries. So that people are in and out, players are in and out. So he has seen that period through, and therefore I think Virat has a core group which is intrinsic now to the team, then there is a slightly larger group from which is the pool, which he and Kumble and the selectors have to really choose.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to the announcement and the timing of the entire thing, I think Dhoni keeps pulling these surprises. The 2014 announcement came out of nowhere in the middle of a test series. So, I mean, it could not, basically just this to add to the point that it could not have been timed better.
Yeah, see, he's enigmatic. We all know that. I mean, you know, first of all, I think we have this tendency in the media and amongst experts also to try and read the other person's mind. It's very difficult to read Dhoni's mind.
Very, very.
You know, so I think when I say the timing is right, he is not leaving in bitterness as a captain.
Absolutely not.
He is leaving a very good team, a very good unit, or a very good pool of players for which Virat has inherited and which has done wonderfully well in Test cricket. Virat himself has, as I mentioned, bloomed.
Exactly.
You know, and then therefore, for him to take the agenda forward, the Champions Trophy is about 6 months away. He gets enough, you know, feel of the captaincy in limited overs matches also. Plus, you know, I think, as I mentioned earlier, 2 power centers is very difficult in Indian cricket.
True that.
So you've had, whether it was Ganguly or before him Tendulkar, or you know, when T20 cricket didn't exist, but later on, and except for that one period when Dravid gave up the captaincy after the England tour in 2007, and Dhoni was made stopgap captain actually.
True that.
For the 2007
World T20,
they had a period of Kumble just as a hand-holding thing, which was carried off very effectively. I think that if just to the hand-holding bit in limited overs cricket has been done effectively.
Exactly.
And I think what's important and extremely crucial is that he's not retired.
Exactly.
He has quit from the captaincy. He is still eligible for selection and to play.
True that. True that. And let's not forget that this is an opportunity for him to improve his batting and sign out on a golden note.
I don't know whether improve or not. I mean, you know, you can't say Dhoni should improve. I mean, he's done 12 years of, you know, playing at the highest level with a degree of excellence that remains, you know, barely matched by anybody else as a finisher. And you know, I mean, he is not. They are all different kinds of batsmen, and the contribution that he's brought to the table has been fantastic. So I think more important is that he's not replaceable. At this point in time, he's irreplaceable as a wicketkeeper batsman.
Exactly.
And there have been players in the past who played without being captain, gave up the captaincy. Sunil Gavaskar gave up the captaincy. Sachin Tendulkar gave up the captaincy. Rahul Dravid gave up the captaincy for different reasons. You know. I'm not talking of people from whom the captaincy was taken away.
True that.
You know, Pataudi, even Saurav Ganguly.
To an extent,
I mean, his captaincy was taken away from him and given to Rahul Dravid.
Yeah.
Some retire, like Anil Kumble. But this guy has given up, like Sunil and Rahul and Sachin. Dhoni. And he still has, I think, at least a few years of very good cricket in him, barring injury. So I think what he will bring for Virat is obviously great experience that he's got as a captain. He's got a sharp mind that everybody knows. Maybe unusual offbeat thinker, but he's got a sharp mind nonetheless. He's a good reader of the situation, reader of the game. And he is not a meddler. You know what I'm saying? He's not meddlesome. As a captain, he kept his reserve, and as a player, he will only, I think, volunteer enough information to keep the captain satisfied and not insecure.
Well, let's hope the comments on the mic stump do not end. I mean, let's hope he's as chirpy as ever. I mean, that's the one aspect of Dhoni that all fans love. I mean,
no, I don't see that. The essence of the guy will not change.
It won't.
You know what are the qualities that one admires about Dhoni? He's very rooted.
Exactly.
You know, he's brave. He's bold. I mean, just to look at what happened in the 2011 World Cup, he walked out to bat under pressure with the team in the final. Promoted himself. If that move had bombed, then he would have taken huge amount of flack. But you have to carry that, you know, courage of conviction. If you have to carry it through. After we won the title, he is not in the picture. All the celebrations were around Sachin Tendulkar playing his last ODI.
And the 28-year drought. And let's not forget, he'd always stand in the corner.
He would be, you know, almost hiding in a corner of the picture somewhere, if at all. Even in the 2000, it's not in 2011. This happened in 2007 also, and 2013 Champions Trophy. He's also led the team to number one position in the Test rankings.
And the only captain to win the World Cup, World T20, the Champions Trophy, and lead the side to the number one.
So this is a massive legacy. It's not going to be easy to match this legacy at all.
I know. 199 ODIs, winning 110 matches out of it.
And again, 99 Test matches. So he's not looking at figures. He didn't say, okay, let me play one more match. I'll play 100 Test matches. And play one more match. I'll be 200 ODIs. He's not that kind of a guy. He's very. I think he's very grounded.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that there was this recent article where he was playing FIFA and PlayStation and he was as chilled out as ever on the day of announcing his stepping down as captain. So he signed out on an equally cool note as well from captaincy.
Yeah, so I was just listening to Sunil Gavaskar yesterday on television. He says he's the kind of guy who comes once in a century, in a sense. He's amongst the really rare kinds. Yeah. We haven't seen too many cricketers like him. He's not overly jubilant. He doesn't go, it's not over the top when he wins.
Absolutely not.
And he doesn't become Devdas and despondent when he loses. So
hence Captain Cool.
Yeah, and hence Captain Cool.
Chalo. And before we wrap up, how long do you see Dhoni playing? I mean, do you think 2017 would be the year when he should hang up, or he should probably stretch himself?
So if I ask you to name me, say 2 or 3 of the fittest players in the team, who would you name?
Judging by Dhoni's running abilities between the wickets, I think Dhoni would count among the fittest. Okay. And I know Dhoni would kill me for this question, but yeah.
No, but then why should we ask how long will you continue? Because he should continue as long as he's making runs and as performing in his profile as a cricketer. And if he's fit, if he's injured and he's just kind of chugging along for no reason, and I think that, frankly, even that era has passed. Players earn enough in their livelihood. Yeah. They don't want to linger on pointlessly and maybe earn a bad reputation for themselves. So I don't think that really is a concern by and large.
Sure.
There's always this greed to cling on to fame and money and livelihood, not
Dhoni.
And when you're young, even when you retire to 37, 38, you're still in the prime of your life.
True that.
So you need to have something to do. Yeah. I think he's the kind of guy who's very sorted over here. So
absolutely.
I sometimes feel that after Dhoni really quits from the game, he might not hear about it. He might be doing some motorcycling or driving somewhere and keeping himself happy in some other way.
Well, I don't know about commentary, but let's see what he
does.
Yeah. On that note, thank you so much for joining in, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thanks, Amit.